All right, so welcome to round 5 of the WTC. My co-host has changed a little bit here, so we're going to have to edit the name. I have here one fat Asian, except for I can't spell Asian.
That's okay. Holy crap, I'm losing my voice. This has been such an amazing event. Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
How's this thing been for you?
Amazing. Amazing. Turns out the Warmachine community is sweet worldwide.
It is true.
Yeah,
it is very sweet.
I suspected that because every time we've had a foreigner come over to the States,
they've been amazing.
They've been amazing. It's just the community, so I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I mean, Warmachine's the same no matter where you play it, honestly, and there's some really amazing people out there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's freaking me out a little bit because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to look at the camera or look at Trevor or look at... Yeah.
You can do both.
All right.
Have you never watched commentary? I thought you watched football.
I do.
Well, commentators, they look at the camera, they look at their...
Yeah, all right.
He's new to this. Yeah. Give him some time.
So I'm a bit scruffly. I had a rough night last night, so holy buckets.
We should talk about that because the pairings are still going up. We don't even know who. We do know that the match that we're going to be streaming this round is Matt Oakley versus Ryan Chiriboga. The teams that we're doing is England Prime versus USA Stars. So our news reporter, Mr. Chili Winters, is going to tell us which casters they pick once they do. And then we will start talking about what the matchup.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good.
Until then, we're going to talk about last night.
Yeah. So mistakes were made. But I had a good time. So I got introduced to 72% alcohol in a drink, which is why I don't have my voice. That stuff is turpentine. Yeah,
well, let's skip over that for a minute, and we're going to go to a little bit about the WTC. Now, this has the rules to the event, but what I specifically want to talk about is the pairing. So if you look at the right side of the infographic, you have two teams. They first dice off, okay? So in this case, you had Team England, Team USA. They diced off. One of them won, and they could choose between being Team A or Team B.
Right.
Okay, so if they choose to be Team B, they get to put a player forward first. Oh, we got Crix versus Crix. Okay, so they put a player forward, and then Team A puts 2 players forward, representing the black arrows here, and then Team B gets to pick what the pairing is.
Right.
And then it flops.
Yep.
Team A puts forward one person. They already did. Sorry, it's one of the 2 that was left over.
Yeah. So
then Team B puts in 2 players.
Yeah. The pair that was left and not chosen out of the 2 that were put forward is left on the table for the next pairing. So.
And it proceeds like that through. Well, there's an interesting part of the pairing is when you get to the 4th pair and the 5th pair. Team A gets to choose both.
Yeah, because of the way it works out.
Yeah, because of the way it works out. So they choose a pair, and then there's only 2 people left, so that's the automatic pair that's left over.
So I would say that Team A gets a pretty significant advantage in the pairing process because they get to set more of the matchups that they want. So to kind of try and offset that, you can see on bullet point 6 at the bottom, Team B gets to select the tables for each pairing, which is pretty interesting. So.
Have you noticed, do you feel like that's been a big impact this year?
I'm going to be very honest. The terrain is a little bit sparse.
Okay.
And symmetrical.
Okay.
Not on every table. It's interesting, and I'm not saying that they've done a poor job, but they sometimes you go to conventions and the terrain is a large part of your consideration when you're looking at a table, and sometimes it's a lesser consideration depending on your faction and what the table looks like. And I've kind of felt like the terrain has been a little bit non-impactive as I've been walking around, as I've seen in some other conventions. What do you think?
I've actually seen a couple of teams win the role and then choose to be Team B.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think they're doing it because of the terrain thing, though. So one of the things I saw interesting done was that they put forward a player that they felt answered a lot of questions for the other team, and the other team didn't have a lot of answers for, and forced them to pick a pairing and start the whole pairing processes, or give them two players.
Yeah, so they kind of turned it on its head then.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't really seen that, but I haven't got an opportunity to watch a lot of the pairing process. So
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the terrain in this event. So there's going to be hills, trenches, and linear obstacles out there. Hills obviously give you some modified line of sight as well as giving you a defense bonus. Linear obstacles and trenches do a similar thing, giving you defense bonuses from range attacks and magic.
Yep, and melee over linear obstacles as well.
So you'll see those on some of these tables, as well as you might see some obstructions and obstacles.
So obstructions are a very normal thing to see, but obstacles is something we almost never see because the rules are kind of wanky for them.
Yeah, they're a little odd.
So maybe we'll go through a couple of them. Number one, if you have Pathfinder, you can charge over them or move over them.
But you still suffer the movement penalty.
Which is a -1 inch for crossing an obstacle. Other things that are really interesting rules in interaction, you cannot be placed upon an obstacle.
Correct.
So like with a telekinesis, you couldn't place yourself on an obstacle. They also provide cover, as it says on the infographic, if you're within an inch and you cross a corner of it or whatever. But anyway, looks like we're getting pretty close to deploying and some interesting things going on. Trevor's walked over to talk to both Matt and Ryan, and I think this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. So hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far, and we'll be back in just a moment. Too loud?
He says it's interesting, but it's boring.
It's that cord right there. Check.
What was that? All right, moving on. We're going to start talking about rough terrain. So one of the interesting things that we've seen here at the WTC that we don't normally see at conventions is the wheat fields. And I'm not sure if everybody knows what they do, but they provide concealment, which is a defensive bonus against ranged attacks and melee attacks. And they also don't provide a movement penalty like rough terrain would. So it's kind of an interesting piece that you see. Forests are pretty standard, and then water, like swamps, are pretty standard fare too that you see. The only big thing with water is you can extinguish a Warjack's furnace if something gets knocked down in water. And so let's see. Certain abilities can negate terrain effects. We've got Pathfinder removes the movement penalty for going through rough terrain or water. Eyeless Sight can see through forests, and Amphibious ignores all the penalties for water. So, man, these infographics are pretty cool, Trevor.
That's because I'm amazing.
You are amazing, and the second best Sporn player in the world.
Behind
Martin Hornacek.
Oh, I'm not even close to him. There's many people in between us.
Yeah, I was just giving you a hard time.
All right, well, let's go to the game and see where they're at.
Looks like they're getting ready to deploy.
They're getting ready to have their name changed because I'm a bad man.
You did change the caster, though.
I did. I just forgot the most important part.
So without seeing the list, what do you think about, just in general, the Deneghra 2 and Skarre 1 matchup?
I'm actually a little surprised by the... I'm a little surprised that he took Denny too.
Are you really?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he's got to expect that Ryan's going to put down a whole lot of troops. And it just doesn't feel like his Denny 2 list has enough attacks, but maybe I'm wrong.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. In general, I really like Deneghra 2 in the Krix matchup. Hellmouth is a beating against Krix lists. It tends to remove swaths of infantry at a time. And she has effectively a time walk feat against Krix. And then a lot of Krix casters can be vulnerable to being locked in place and then killed. So at first blush, it's going to be interesting to see if this Deneghra 2 list can remove infantry fast enough through the time walk feat and everything to keep the heavies relevant in the game, because obviously Ryan has got a huge infantry swarm. So.
Yeah, and Ryan likes to play infantry swarms.
He does do that. It's interesting because it's kind of old school Crix. The other thing that's nice about Hellmouth is it will prevent the Mechanithralls from growing out of control.
Sort of stuff, isn't it? It seems a bit crazy.
That's true.
It certainly will help. So, I was talking to Ryan earlier in an earlier game. He had 18 corpses on
to come here.
one necrosurgeon, so it's pretty amazing.
There should be a rule against that or something.
Yeah, he was just telling me how nice the large damage tracker dials we have were because it goes.
Because he was using them for corpses.
He was using it for corpses because he had so many.
That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible.
I think to be like.
Do you have the list by chance?
Really competitive
I did, and then I handed them back to the players like a derp. Let me look them up, because we actually have them right here at our fingertips.
Well, maybe
excellent.
Not 6. That's getting a little aggressive. It's not bad, though.
It's kind of funny to watch Ryan deploy here. Like, it's kind of like counting to make sure you have all your fingers and your toes. It's a little overwhelming. So.
Okay, so Ryan's list is Skarre, obviously, Skarlock, 2 Helldivers, some Scrap Thralls, 2 units of Bane Knights max, 3 max units of Mechanithralls, 2 Necrosurgeons with Stitch Thralls, and 3 units of Bane Knights. My apologies. He's got 3 units of Bane Knights, 3 units of Mechanithralls. And he's played this list for quite a while.
Yeah. So it's 60 trooper models, basically. They're going to come screaming across the field. And then, yeah.
So it seems like your games with
Matt Oakley's or Oakley's list.
No, you play Slovakia.
Here is Nightmare, Deathripper, Skarlock, Tartarus, a minion unit of Bane Thralls with UA, a max unit of Raiders with UA, this Withershadow Combine, a Warwitch Siren, Wrongeye and Snapjaw, which is an interesting choice, but I really like it with Denny 2.
Yeah.
And Gorman DeWolf.
So just to comment on the Denny 2 list, what I really like about it is it's kind of askew. It's got a lot of stealth.
Dropped it again. I was there when he dropped it.
And then it also has 2 heavies that are stealth, or not stealth. I'm sorry. Obviously, Nightmare has stealth with the affinity with Deneghra, and then you can have Submerge with Wrongeye and Snapjaw, which makes their heavies functionally immune to shooting as they come up. So you can move the heavies into position, lock all their stuff into place, and then get a really strong alpha with your 2 heavies.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that's not going to be a real advantage in this particular matchup.
The heavies may be a bit of a liability.
Yeah, I would call them a liability. Man, this game is going to be really interesting because, like I said, Denny 2 is really, really hard on infantry swarms in general.
But Ryan takes his to the next level, right?
Yeah,
you have the solo
100%.
No.
Okay.
How does? Oh my gosh! And then the recursion. So he's going to be pretty much making 6 guys a turn.
Yep, I've watched Ryan play this before. He's very quick at playing it. He does not take attacks that are not worth taking, and he's usually pretty quick. However, it is a time sink. There's a lot of models to activate.
Yep.
And as you can see, the Muson Minis tokens have come out.
Yeah, there they are.
He is ready to make some corpses.
Right. How many corpses do you think you'll end up with in this game? There's no living models.
I can write something.
Let's Satyxis Raiders, but there's not many.
Because if it comes off,
man.
it's going to be dead.
But he's going to get it from his own Mechanithralls.
Yeah, and any of them that he makes.
And he's going to spend 3 a turn, so it sort of moves down a little bit. I'm going to go with he's going to cap out at about 11.
Okay, I was going to say the over-under was 9.
I think he's going to go past that.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll say 10 or less, I win the bet, right? Fair enough? 11 or more, you win the bet.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, right,
Dinner?
okay, yeah, sure.
You remember last time you bet one of these, right?
Yeah, I like buying you dinner. I feel bad.
Okay, well, someone does.
It's a way to get over my guilty conscience. all the crap that I give you. I'm sorry. It's a fact of life. Yeah, it looks like turn 1 has started, so...
Deneghra's going to run.
Is that a Deneghra that he just moved up? Yep.
Yes, it is.
So this is a very aggressive play for scenario, which I think is smart. We'll see how Ryan responds, but what he's doing is he's trying to set up a quick domination and score.
She's going to walk to there
domination
and power base yacht node.
And
It's going to use its
score
focus to
on
run.
the red flag, and he's going to try and do it on Ryan's turn.
If he can do that, it puts him in a really strong position.
It is terrible that I.
So it's a very aggressive gambit, and I don't think Skarre has a lot of ways to reach out and touch Deneghra where she's at.
Not really, no.
So it's not really costing him
Bane's
anything
gonna run.
for it.
Nope. What Ryan's going to have to do is he's just going to have to run his stuff as fast as he can and try to get as many models in position as he can.
Yeah, he's going to have to contest what he can.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So this will be really interesting. This is close quarters, I assume.
Snapjaw's going to run. He's going to...
Wrongeye and Snapjaw is just such a good model.
And just
I wish I could play it in Protectorate.
Forgot to run him. These are going to run. So 8, 10, 12.
Probably dangerous.
12.
You guys are going to activate. They're going to run.
Into there.
15 and a half.
She's going to run.
You'll notice that he's also, Trevor got his
So no allocation?
Satyxis Raiders positioned in a good position across from the red flag.
Where did I put those tokens?
So that
Satyxis
Told you
Raiders
all
have
about
multiple
them,
attacks.
and then
They
I
got
put them right
lots of
here.
threat. They're going to be able to clear out that flag, regardless of what Ryan's able to do. Almost.
they're also going to be able to jam pretty hard. So I
Yeah,
said
absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see how this is dealt with. So I think what we would say is Deneghra 2 has a good assassination
He'll go
potential in this game,
here,
and scenario
he'll go here,
potential,
she'll here, eat
and
him.
attrition will probably go to Ryan.
Oh, it's got to.
So the longer the game goes, the more likely Ryan is going to be to win. We'll see how that plays out.
Did he just roll a 1 on his ritual sacrifice?
I couldn't see.
I believe it was a 1.
Yeah.
Which is not what he wanted. That was some DC commentary right there. Straight from the hole. We love you, DC.
Yeah. So actually, I think what he's going to have to try and do is not get all of his army locked by the feet. So he's going to have to spread out in a big cloud.
We'll run here.
Yeah, so
Run
that
10?
after feet he can run in the stuff that didn't get caught.
Yeah, and try to contest as best he can. So, yep, here comes his Krix army screaming across the table. This is the high skill cap faction.
The rest will run.
The respectful, as always, Fat Asian.
I'm a kinder, gentler commentator.
Leader.
Yep.
Toe. Toe.
So the leader's the one without a shield on his left arm.
Yeah, I broke, but he's got the spiky helmet.
Okay.
That's always the case for them.
So they're discussing who's the leader of
Yep.
the unit,
Okay.
because
So we're going to run here. 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 Touch.
Like that.
Touch.
Necrosurgeon can activate.
and Ryan
Here,
did a
leader.
common thing among tournament players, which is
Touch.
towing onto a hill, even though they're not necessarily on the hill. He's got them base to base with it, and
Touch.
he's saying they're towed on
So
the
the
hill.
girls
So
will
those
go,
are
we're running
represented
over
as
here.
being on the hill for the most
Yeah.
part.
Trevor, have you ever had anybody tell you to play around Hellmouth?
Here.
Play what?
Around Hellmouth?
Run over here. And then she'll run
no.
up there.
I've had people tell me, well, you just play around Hellmouth.
I don't think you can.
No, it's actually not possible.
Yeah,
Here
I mean,
we
it's very difficult.
it is very difficult because there's no way you can get away from the size.
Yeah. So
Especially with what Ryan
10?
has on the table. There's nothing he can do about it. He's
Yep.
going to lose some guys to Hellmouth.
he's going to lose a bunch. So what's the over/under on the number of models that get caught in one Hellmouth?
You're just a betting man
Yeah,
today. You're a betting fool.
I might have a problem. I might have multiple problems.
Is that how you ended up so drunk last night? Was there a bet involved?
There was no bets involved. They're very insistent Europeans, and I showed a little bit of weakness. I was like, I'll try that, and then it became kind of cascaded into they'd pour me a drink and they'd be like, "Well, it's very rude to refuse,"
Yeah.
And, me, I'm a very polite guy. So.
Have I met you before? Because that's not the guy I know.
Yeah. So I'm going to guess that Hellmouth is going to get a maximum of...
I'm going to say 5.
I'm going to say 6.
You're going to one-up me, huh?
No,
How come you didn't one-up me on the other bet?
No, because I actually thought it would be lower, because Hellmouth removes, so there'll be less corpse gathering. But Nigel likes to give me a hard time. He says that I always raise the stakes for everything. I don't know where that comes from.
Ah, I see.
So Trevor, I have to say, I'm really impressed by the setup that you've set up.
This is
You've obviously put in a lot of work.
I have put in a lot of work.
And you're doing it's really good. It's really good.
Well, the cool thing about the work that I put in is that it's not temporary. I'm going to be able to do this at future events as well.
You have to teach me how to do this. I think we'd have a good time streaming at Muse HQ. So
I thought I was teaching you how to do this.
Fair enough.
So sometimes I forget what turn we're on, so you're going to have to slap me when we're not there.
I'm not paying attention.
So there's a 1B here at the top of the screen over underneath Ryan Chiriboga.
So it's the bottom of one?
Yeah, it's the bottom of one. It's actually A and B, so first part of the turn, or first part of the round and the second part of the round. So
I'm going to remember B as the bottom of.
That's fine.
Okay.
What are you going to remember A as?
The top of.
All right. You can do so.
So that's just terminology that we use a lot on the tournament scene, actually. We talk about, oh, I did this on the top of 2, or I did this on the bottom of 1, and it really denotes, top is the first player in the turn, bottom being the second. I guess that's probably obvious.
Skar's going to run.
I apologize for the color problems before. I just hadn't got a chance to fix it. I got a lot going on. I need a production staff. That's what I need. I need like 5 guys that'll just do my work for me.
13?
Yeah.
When you get that, you tell me how to get it set up. Yeah. I'll be right back. What's up?
So, it looks like it's right there, but maybe just right on this side of it. So
just want to check it again. It looks a bit short. But
right. I went 13, so I have one left. So if I go to there, 14.
Yep.
You okay?
Yep.
And then 14
So
over
Ryan's
here.
checked the kill box and put himself on the hill in preparation for trying to weather that feat.
As long as I know what your intention is.
We'll run. And then they'll run.
All right, I apologize for that. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and we are involved in a lot of things here, so it's a little difficult sometimes, but we'll forgive you this time.
Okay.
So you can see Ryan's done a really good job spreading out.
Yeah, it's impossible for Matt to catch all of those guys in his feed. He's just going to have to pick what he wants and leave it at that.
Yeah, see, he's measuring her control now.
He's also measuring directly towards Skarre. I wonder if he's thinking about trying to lock her in place and potentially go for an assassination next turn.
Yeah, where's Skarre at?
She's on the hill. So on my handy-dandy thing, I can show you exactly where Skarre is.
Hellfire's range 10.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like I have a telestrator.
Yeah, I really want to draw something on the screen.
You really want to draw something?
It's not
Should we be drawing?
appropriate.
Oh, no, sorry. Not going to do that. Too late. We did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. So, yeah.
So one of the common things I've seen done with Deneghra too is locking their caster in place, getting really close to them on feet, and then hoping, and especially in this situation where Ryan doesn't have any range attacks, getting up real close, and then on the next turn moving in, attacking, and then teleporting back into the rest of your army.
Yeah.
Do you think he might try that?
Well, here's what I think. Here's what I predict is going to happen.
Okay, so
he's going to
start with
he's definitely going to catch Skarre, and as much of the other stuff as he can. And I think because of she's probably going to be incorporate, which will make her relatively safe.
Skarre's going to walk there.
this time. And then after he catches him, he will run
Puppet Strings Deneghra,
Snapjaw and the Nightmare, so that next turn they both can get on.
I'll just use that for as a token.
She's got some pretty good spells also for facilitating that. She's got Mark for Death to give a Death debuff to her Skarre, or the ability to reduce armor with...
yeah, absolutely. She's got ways she can make it happen.
Now, the interesting thing is, Ryan can respond with Skarre's feet and fully camp, so he will be armor 15 base, right? She's 16, 15, plus, it looks like 1 for Ritual Sacrifice, so that's 7. That's 22, and then her feet should be armor 27, so that assassination actually might not be a very good one.
It may not be, but it could be.
3.5 to there.
He only rolled 1, remember?
3.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But she's gonna have 7 focus.
Yep.
And a feet. That's plus 12 armor. She'll be armor 27.
Okay.
Nightmare, even with prey, and armor debuff.
Armor debuff
Gets up to power.
Skarlock.
Snapjaw's base power 17, right?
Yes.
Got Ghosty on the art node.
He gets up to dice -8.
Skarlock puts what in the arc?
She's down 5 hit points already, though.
Ghost Walk, yep. So the art
will he have a Necrosurgeon? Did he put a Necrosurgeon in base to base with her? So that would have been a really tech play if he had put a Necrosurgeon right in base to base with Skarre.
So he could repair her after the feat.
Right afterwards. Or there's a Necrosurgeon within 5, and that Necrosurgeon may not get caught in the feat.
Looks like Matt's right going to go for a Hellmouth right here.
Denny.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out where he wants to send it. He's got his arc node up on the flag.
Okay, so going to advance 5 to there. Check the distance to Skarre. So 11.5.
Sure.
So advancing it. So we've got 1 inch left. So just over 10.5 inches away from Skarre.
Yeah, my charge set is 10.5, if that's the question.
No, I just want to be outside of Hellfire range.
Oh, yeah, which is 10, sure.
Yeah.
So he's measuring Hellfire range, wants to stay away
so
from
she's going to feat.
Just far enough away from her so he can't be Hellfired after he feats.
Yeah, because you always have a dicer's chance, right?
Yeah, well, you don't want to give him an opportunity.
Can you just confirm for me where it goes?
Yeah, sure.
That way we know. Okay, so yes.
So yes.
Yeah, so not here.
Those.
He gets it. So just these guys back here.
Yeah. Do you want to mark them with some beads? Do you want to mark them with some yellow beads or something?
So I don't think he got the Necrosurgeon. That's really good for Ryan.
Yeah, he's going to be able to move up now and heal Skarre after her feat.
Okay, so
she's probably going to counter here. She doesn't need her feat to kill anything on the other side of the table.
And then this whole unit, well, except for him.
Yep.
So he was out. I get these 2.
That knight's in. So there, so those Mechanithralls there. So he's in. He's just. Can't see. Is that just short?
If you're there, it's short.
Just short. Those knight there.
Okay, so
there. Yeah.
I'm going to put it here.
And then
here.
Yeah, those guys are in. Yeah.
I'm just going to make a line of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Here.
That's a lot of beads.
And he's out.
What they're doing is they're marking the models not affected by the feat. I guess that's probably pretty obvious, but it's good information to have on the table because Warmachine's obviously not too much information to gain. And what things are.
Can I helmet that guy?
Sure.
Boost.
Okay.
Def 12.
Yes, sir.
So hits.
Okay.
So everyone within 3, isn't it? So just check that one. Yep.
Yes.
So he'll go to there.
Yeah, we just,
Yep. Sorry. Can you just hold him? Because he's going to die, but it's just going to. So
yeah.
To there.
I don't think it's going to matter because you're going to get everybody.
And there. And that, sorry. And that guy there, just check that.
Yes.
Yep.
So he's here, so he's going to stop here.
Yep.
So I'm going to take these all out.
Yep.
They auto die. You'll have to roll on him.
Yep.
And
how many was that?
Is it that guy? Did he get hit or not?
That's what
I think it was 7.
I think it might just be
Oh, really?
I actually don't know. I think it was
Yeah, I
6.
think he's just out.
Yeah.
It's to my
So he dies.
Yeah.
Pal 12?
Yep.
I think it was only
guys?
5.
Hang on. I'm going to re-roll that with puppet strings.
The chat will tell us, I'm sure.
Oh, because yeah, sure.
I don't want to kill him.
I now understand.
Ah.
Some interesting Deneghra 2 builds
So
that I've seen in
these
the
are on the
past,
face. You got 1,
that this
2,
build
3,
doesn't have is
3 knights.
4.
Four that won't
I
get.
feel like if
won't
there
get
was
it.
Bile Thralls in the list, even a min-unit, that this matchup would be really bad for Ryan.
That's true. I agree with that. That without the Bile Thralls here, it's going to take a lot of hell mouths to catch up.
Yep. Anything going on in the chat, Trevor? I don't have vision to it, but you do, right?
Well, people are complaining a little bit unjustly. They're saying some things about Ryan using markers to mark the thing. They're saying it's basically taking Matt's time, but it's not really Matt's time in that situation. I mean, it is Matt's time, but it's something that needs to be discussed, and he's doing it in a timely manner. I don't feel like he took into that much time. So, I mean, this is very common in high-level tournament play to mark that sort of stuff, to go through it and make sure that it is done well, to know what is caught and what is not on a feat like this. It's a pulse.
And actually, I'm always surprised because, like you said, this is something that I would call a standard operating procedure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's something we're very used to.
Yeah,
I'll do this Satyxis, so she's done now.
I would not think twice about my opponent asking me to do
Satyxis
that, or
Raiders.
doing it when I feed it.
Yep. Now here comes a bunch of stuff that's going to get killed, plus a good jam from the Satyxis.
I do find it a little interesting that Matt did not put his
this
arc
one,
node on the flag. It looks to me like it's about a quarter inch away.
Yeah, so that it could score for him. Maybe he's got a plan to put Snapjaw or a solo there anyway.
Maybe.
Yep. And again, I mean, this is a really probably just a very minor thing.
Yeah.
And for these kinds of very minor placement things, can add up to a pretty significant advantage or disadvantage in the game. I don't know how many times I've been playing a game.
They're all locked in, aren't they? The grey ones.
Yes, the entire unit.
To base a flag with them on.
Yeah, I've had that happen to my. I did that just last week.
Yeah. I mean, you have that in your mind, and it's your plan the entire time, but you get caught up in the minutia of the game, and
think you're out spacing your opponent, and in the end, you're actually not putting it next to the flag.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do, or something that
you're incorporeal.
Is I like to
I've just run through
base the flag.
twice
I almost
already.
always base the flag with one model of the unit, and try to get the entire unit within
Okay, so
4 inches. I tend to find
two,
that
so horns and whip.
that works
So
pretty
leading
well. So
with
I have
the
a habit
whip,
of doing
horns,
that.
and then her horns
And
and
most of
whip.
the lists that I design usually have solos that you can easily get to a flag. And score.
So you're just short on the horns.
Oh, did I not move it far enough? Okay,
Well, no, I
fine.
think what it is, the angle you came in at. I don't know that
Okay.
you.
No, I could have moved it further, but I didn't, so it's fine. So, horns, whip. So, Mat 8. The hits. Power 11. These two. Horns, whip. Power 11.
So he's definitely going to clear out this flag.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then he's going to have a really good follow-up to clear it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's not going to have a hard time scoring. I don't think... I'm not sure if... spatial relations is hard for me with the video camera. I don't think Deneghra is within walking range of the blue flag.
No, I think she's... So the distance between the two flags in close quarters is it's far enough. This is the only reason I know this, okay? That if Terminus is standing on one of them and Epic Morgul is standing on the other one, that if he apparitions forward and charges, he'll catch Terminus. Because I did it in a game. Yeah. So it's approximately 14 inches between the two flags. A little, probably.
I think that was a power booster.
A little less than 14 inches.
That's interesting.
So I feel like she's closer to the red flag than she is the blue, which means she probably cannot walk backwards and get to the blue flag. But potentially she could move forward onto the red flag, but it seems a dangerous gambit.
Well, if she's in corporal, well, the problem is if Skarre gets there, it's over. Skarre will kill her fast. Skarre is one of the more deadly Crix casters in melee combat.
Yeah, she's got a great rack, knock you down with, and then she's got her Tartarus attack, which she can use with blood trade.
This is the other one you
giving her additional die on damage, which can kill a lot of casters with pretty consistent.
And not to mention, she often has, 1 to 6 extra.
Yeah, she's got extra focus.
She's gonna have extra focus. So
he's gonna run.
So going to the red flag, unless he's got a surefire way to make sure Skarre does not get on her.
Forward to that.
Seems like a good plan. Obviously, this turn, the feat's got a lot of stuff locked down. So what you're seeing here is a really strong tempo play, which is why Deneghra 2
I don't know why I called it her. I've done that.
Yeah, he put Ghost Lock and he power boosted.
I've done it, yeah.
Okay.
She just gains so much ground on you, particularly if she...
Will Vengeance, and then I'll put those out.
Pretty rough.
It can be pretty rough. It's gonna be interesting to see what Ryan does with all the guys that are down at the bottom of the screen, essentially. The guys that didn't really get caught by the feet.
Attack on the knockdown guy.
My guess is they'll push in on the flank and try and... Ryan's going to try and turn the scenario game around by pushing Deneghra's army off the blue flag. Can I just say that having multiple colored flags is actually kind of brilliant. I've never really considered it before.
Yeah, a lot of times in most tournaments you end up with 2 very similar flags.
Yeah, or zones, and I've been walking around by games all day long. And
put up some
they've had like
Helldivers.
red and blue zones or red and blue flags, and it does matter in some steamroller scenarios, which is why they did it. Because one is friendly to you.
Yeah, one is friendly, one is not.
Yep.
It can make a big difference, and it's looked really good on the stream because you can easily see where objectives are, where flags are, and what's going on with those.
Helldiver just unburrowed. So that's something we probably should have talked about sooner.
They were not on the table when Deneghra feeded, and therefore they're not locked in place.
Yep.
That's kind of a big deal here.
We'll give you something a little beefier to try and contest with. But again, they have... You can
Very
see
upset that I only got 1 extra focus.
Nightmare and Snapjaw are kind of positioned there to help.
Like, it just makes camping this turn so much harder.
So I think Ryan is actually lamenting that he only rolled 1 focus.
Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of... If he rolls 3
you're gonna get 2 and there's no way I can stop you.
He's in a much better position.
Yeah.
Where he can be locked in place and still be pretty safe.
Yeah, dominate 2. Yeah.
So I remember in Mark 1 I used to play Skarre 1 a lot.
I did as well, actually.
Yeah, she was my girl with the curl. And P. Sorsha was a huge thing in Mark.
No allocation.
Oh yeah, she was everywhere.
And this was pre-Bane Knight, so it was a long
walk 5,
but I remember I played one game where I didn't roll less than a 5 on focus, and I camped through things like Juggernauts getting to me. Like it was the most ridiculous thing that I've ever had happen, and the player was pretty frustrated. So
it definitely can happen.
There are a few single dice rolls in the game that it can be as impactful.
Well, they didn't vengeance. They were stuck. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gone.
Yeah.
This situation.
I've played plenty.
We'll run over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as an aside, do you think Butcher 2 would be a really good caster if he had a static focus?
Rather, we'll run charge.
I think he'd be a really good caster.
He's going to try here. 10-inch threat.
Yeah, anytime I've played Butcher 2 and rolled 5 focus, I've been ecstatic.
Yeah,
honestly. I have 6.
If you get more than...
Would you push down
in all the games I played, if you roll 4 or more total focus, so roll a 3 or more on the die, you're usually just fine.
Short.
Yeah.
It's the turns where you roll the 1 or the 2 where you're just in rough
right
shape.
about there?
It's like rolling a 1 with the Avatar. All right.
I thought the Avatar always rolled 1.
What's that?
I said I thought the Avatar always rolled 1.
Yeah, only for good players. All right, so Ryan's doing kind of like what we thought. He's coming up beside the flag and is going to push across and put a lot of pressure on the scenario on his opponent's flag. It's kind of interesting because in a lot of ways, the Deneghra player Matt is doing exactly the same thing. He's putting a lot of pressure on Ryan's flag. So the game potentially comes down to, barring assassination,
this unit's going to
who
go
gets
there over
lucky
here.
enough to contest for one extra turn.
Yeah.
They're going to run.
So in a scenario like close quarters here, this is close quarters, right?
Yep.
Here.
You often have sort of an equilibrium that develops between the two armies, where you score on your turn, I score on my turn, and the game really comes down to
who scored first.
Who scored first, or who was able to contest one time. If you were just to break the game down. So, yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
These ones will run. Here. So he's stuck, he's stuck, these four are stuck. He's the leader though, so he's okay.
That's beneficial that the leader didn't get frozen.
6.
It's actually kind of a big deal. Because if the leader was frozen, it would be harder to keep everybody in command.
Yeah, these guys in the back wouldn't be able to get very far.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously, the guys in the back that are caught in the feet are obviously going to be out of command.
Yeah.
Because I think the leader was the first model that he ran up there. So.
Now the leader.
Yeah, and the Mechanithrall unit doesn't have a great command stat. It's one of their biggest flaws.
It's a 6, is that right?
It's a, yeah, I believe so.
Which means everything has to be within 6 inches of the leader, which is
it's pretty small.
Yeah, it's a pretty small number.
5.
It's like the only disadvantage that Mechanithralls have.
Well,
10.
You have, if
Other
you're
than
taking
being expensive.
If you're taking into consideration everything about crits, because they are Mat 5, but that doesn't really matter with crits.
Like Mat 5 reroll, pretty good.
Yeah.
Average dice roll
she
is
can't move.
8 on 2 dice with a reroll.
These ones can, so they'll run.
That's like
here.
a standard Mat 6
Here.
guy. But if you get lucky, you have
get both.
Yeah, you have the advantage to kind of get lucky and get above expected.
He'll run here.
Where you won't do that with
He'll eat him.
a single Mat 6 attack.
Yeah.
See if I can do better than a 1.
And actually,
how about a 2?
the Mat 5 with a reroll or 2 attacks is much more consistent and has the ability to spike higher. It's actually really infuriating to talk about Mechanithralls because they're so inexpensive.
They're so inexpensive, and they do such amazing work. And with any sort of buff or debuff on your opponent, they become absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. And then they combo strike for POW 15.
Yeah.
We like
So
to call
in the
that
chat, somebody asked about the red markers. Do you want to tell them what those are, since they're your product?
Oh yeah, so those are 50mm wound dials or damage tracker dials, and they number from 1 to 24.
Yeah.
We use them for objectives often because you can track damage on the objective and it's the right size.
He's just going to run straight in.
We use them for tracking damage on battle engines. We use them for tracking damage on casters that have a variable life, so like Harvey or Bonatu. And they're kind of a handy tool to have. And then we also apparently use them for corpse tokens, which I hadn't even considered. But hey, another handy use. So we're actually quite proud of that product. We brought a ton of them over here to the WTC.
If I had one, I would use it as my ancestor rage tokens for Zal's feet.
There you go. Yeah, that's very cool. Rage tokens for Butcher 2 too. So it's kind of a handy thing.
I used to carry around, when I played Butcher 2, all the time I carry around a little, those Chessex things of beads.
Oh yeah.
I ran out of them at one game, and I was like, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a first world problem, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, I've only got 24 beads here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So let's take a look and see how Ryan's done to deny scenario. I don't think that Matt really positioned for an assassination.
6.
I have trouble gauging the distances, so my eye is pretty good when I'm standing over.
Well, we do know the difference between Skarre and Deneghra because Matt measured it.
10.5.
Yes, 10.5.
Nightmare's threat range is what, Trevor?
You seen it a little guys ago?
Deneghra, she's speed 7 with reach.
No, Nightmare's threat range.
Oh, Nightmare's threat range. It depends on his prey.
Yeah.
They will run.
The other thing, so it's another thing I forgot to bring up is Deneghra has a
3.
really potent ability called Dark Vanishing.
6.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before, where if he gets up there and hits her, he can send Skarre
9.
back towards Nightmare.
But you have to break armor to do that.
Yeah,
So
which is going to be tough.
That's the crazy thing, right? So, how much did Ryan camp?
I believe he camped it all.
Yeah, I just don't see it on the table.
It's actually right here.
There it is.
She's going to run.
Thank you.
And these are the focus he's going to get next
20.
round.
Gotcha.
Base.
So he rolled a 1 again?
This little guy's going to
I
run.
think he rolled a 2.
Okay.
There's 2 there.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, not what he
5.
wanted, but it's better than a 1,
6.
I guess.
The nice thing is, if the
8.
dice even out and he
He's
rolls
got
some
4
high
more.
numbers later in the game, assuming he survives this.
Yeah, he's going to be in great position when he's rolling the 4 or the 5.
Right.
So not based.
Interesting. So he based a bunch of models directly in front of Skarre in an attempt to block some line of sight and cause Matt some issues if he tries to go for the assassination.
So I guess something else I should point out is
Everybody's
Deneghra
gone
actually
except
has
Skarre.
So many threat angles when she's going for the assassination. Like, for example, let's say that we think that Snapjaw and Nightmare are currently out of threat range.
You know it's going to make it, right? So it's just things. I'm a 5, minus 2, I'm a 3.
She could Hellmouth,
Yes, and pull Skarre forward up to 3 inches.
or she can Hellmouth her own stuff.
Yes.
She could put something up in front of Snapjaw and Nightmare and Hellmouth them.
Skarre's going to go.
towards towards Skarre.
I'll feed for
Yeah,
5.
She could even. She doesn't have enough to do it twice, does she?
No, she never can.
Yeah.
Unless she has Death Tracking list.
Oh, that would be bad.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why you often see Death Track in the list is two Hellmouths a turn, i.e. Cassius, is a very, very powerful attrition play and a very powerful assassination
threat.
enabler.
Yeah, that's true. It really doesn't. You're not going to Hellmouth somebody to death, but you're going to pull them to a location where they will get killed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to say, this streaming thing, you make it look pretty
gonna
easy,
measure
Trevor,
the
but
4
it's a little difficult. So,
There's a lot going on,
Yeah.
honestly.
If that's helpful.
but it's super fun.
Just there.
So again,
He looks
Warmachine
stressed
is an
out.
open information game, and what
You
they're
mind
checking
just picking her up
here
real quick?
is
I mean, she's kind of
which,
right there.
Checking the
which model-
distance between the the
definitely
flag
out.
to see which models are
And
contested.
she was just facing him.
because
so
Matt's going to
that
obviously
one.
score
Yeah,
first.
and then
Yeah.
Talking about
Yep.
he is just in.
He's just in.
what
Okay.
does he need to remove.
He's going to be
Looks
out,
like just
and he's
some
definitely
trooper
out.
models. Like there's a
So
pretty
just these
juicy
three.
Hellmouth.
Oh, well, sorry.
Where they're kind of
Probably her.
near where they're at
She's
now.
armor 27.
Just I guess I would call
Yes.
above the red flag as reviewed.
Yeah. So one of the things Matt just called for was he wanted to know what Skarre's armor was.
Yep.
So he's kind of weighing his options at this point. He's checked. He knows how many models are now within the range of the flag. He knows what Skarre's armor is. Now it's some time in the tank. He's trying to decide what the best choice is. What would you do at this point?
I would play for Attrition because unless I have 100% assassination, I almost never go for it.
You wouldn't even go for a 95er?
I probably would.
Because I don't think there are 100%ers every
Yeah,
time.
I know. I'm just such a weenie about it. But it also kind of depends on. It's not. So the only. It's not the only. Not the only consideration is not. Okay, how successful is this assassination going to be? What does it cost me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if, for example, if I can give an example here, if Matt could figure out a way that didn't involve Deneghra getting closer to Skarre, that he could use some models that he doesn't necessarily care about to see whether or not it's an option first, it's something he might do because he's not really losing
He's just
much.
supposed to be towing.
And if it works,
like he's off a millimeter.
now
I may
he
have
could be in
bumped it. There we
100%
go.
assassination.
Yeah. So earlier we were talking about the Dark Banishing
Yeah, but everybody that's around the hill was towing it.
Yeah. Because Deneghra is charging their caster. And if she fails to break armor, rolls really bad dice, fails to kill Skarre, Deneghra just dies.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to stop that.
Right, and so you'd have to have a very high assassination percentage in order to go for that.
I suppose I need to wait until I do.
Normally, it's not something you do, especially this early in the game. We're only on the top of 3 here. Feat was just barely used. The scoring hasn't even happened yet.
Yep. Yep, that's a pretty salient point. Now the other calculation that he can be doing is, so the assassination also costs him. Say he gets Skarre to a place where he can get both heavies on him. It costs the heavies activation, and if they fail to kill her,
it's loss of heavies usually.
Yeah, he's just traded 20 points of stuff to do functionally nothing.
Yeah, essentially nothing.
Which puts you in attrition.
Yeah, a lot of times in games where players take assassinations that they probably shouldn't,
I'll keep on my focus.
That can happen. When they go all in, they send in their heavies. It doesn't happen for whatever reason, maybe because they didn't think about the dice math, or maybe because they didn't set themselves up to be more successful in the percentages.
Or they got a little unlucky.
Yeah, or they got unlucky, and they ended up losing the pieces that they used, and they got nothing for it.
Yeah. So, it's funny, we talked earlier about the Bone Chicken not being in base-to-base with the flag.
Yeah.
Obviously he couldn't score. He knew he wasn't going to score on Ryan's turn. Yeah. So if he had set up a situation where he had locked down every model that could have possibly gotten
Withershadow,
then basing that would have been much more important.
Yeah, it would have been. I feel like the difference, the quarter-inch difference, wasn't enough to really matter. He probably should have had it based. It didn't end up mattering, but he's moved it up there now. He obviously wants to be able to score at the end of this turn. He's already backed up Snapjaw. He's sort of looking at what do I need to do to put myself in a strong position to start winning on scenario.
Yeah. Is that Withershadow online?
Yeah, you're fine.
So puppet string Deneghra. He's going to dart fire him.
Okay.
What was that?
Set range, so range 10, so 5s. And power.
5s. You're at 12, I think.
He puppet strings Deneghra, I think.
Oh, that's your incorporeal. Can we just put a marker for the puppet string so that we remember? Sure.
Interesting. I wonder what he's got planned to do with that.
I mean, he could use it to
boosted puppet strings.
Cast a Hellmouth, right?
On here.
Yeah,
sorry, boost Hellmouth.
Boosted Hellmouth on here.
Yeah, so you said puppet strings, but
puppet strings in my head.
I thought I knew what you meant.
So def 16.
Yes. And you're so 9.
9.
Hits. So Hellmouth here. So whatever order you prefer.
Well, they all just aren't going to move.
Yeah, so he'll just slide in.
Go like that. He'll go. I'll leave him there to just do the
wow, so he looks like he's trying to clear a path to Skarre.
Yeah.
Yep, but he's not going to send Deneghra in for that.
Nope.
So on her.
Okay.
Going to boost the damage.
Okay.
-5.
I'm at 17, so yes, off 5. It's enough.
Yep, and you can see that we didn't point this out, but Ryan did feat, so his entire army in Skarre's control area are +5 armor.
Yeah.
Which is why he's actually having to roll dice with Hellmouth to kill that stuff.
Yep.
Normally it's sort of like.
I've got 2 focus left. Knight's armor 20.
21.
21. So I need 9 to kill him.
10.
To kill him.
10.
And then I'll just roll normally on these.
And then
so 8 there. I'm 17. So 6s to kill them.
6s, yes.
Yeah.
And then him.
Wow.
If we're going to make these bets, we probably should pay attention a little better to what's going on.
I don't think it did it?
There was a full other guy on the other side. No, it would have.
Then Danny's going to move 6 to there.
Because the small base is, the blast is smaller than the base.
1 onto the hill. Okay, so
this is one of the advantages of Death Clock in the format. It allows the player to expend a lot more time and energy in a big turn. This is a really important turn.
Yeah, it is.
Matt's taking his time trying to make sure he gets everything done correctly.
Sorry, can I just come on? Yeah, you're good.
What just happened there? Was that Deneghra?
No, Deneghra is...
Skarlock's going to put Ghosty on these.
Okay.
Is Deneghra right by the house?
This guy going to charge him. So 10.
Yeah, you're okay on range.
Yep.
Yeah, he fits.
Oh, that's a curse from Tartarus. Hello.
Oh,
really pay
okay.
attention.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, that model's way bigger than a small base. I did lose track of Deneghra, though. She must. You're probably correct. She must have backed up to the house.
I think she's obstructed by the little chapel thing in the middle.
See?
You're not straight on that.
So like I said, the streaming thing is a little harder than it looks. I think I need to go back and maybe rescind some of the comments that I made by other streamers. It's not that I said anything too terribly uncharitable. I said that they would get better with time, and that they needed to get better.
I see. Well, you know, I'm attempting to do that. It is not easy.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like playing Scorn. It looks easy, but it's really not.
I see you trying to give me the olive branch, but
you're not letting me off the hook?
It looks like a trap.
No, you're not letting me off the hook? Come on.
He's going
to... So this looks to me like it's turning into an attrition game.
They got the range.
Yeah, it's a clean lane.
Yep, I think so.
This is a tight squeeze. So what they're doing is they're checking the path of the base
and I'll hold the light down
to make sure that it doesn't clip the other base and cause the charge to fail.
Are you
now
okay
he'll check
with
the other
line?
side of it.
Oh, it's not hitting him, is it?
That's why I'm trying to get off of him.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right. Yep.
Yep, all good.
Yep. And we have a successful charge.
Oh, yeah, that was fine.
That was time.
Actually indicative of a lot of high-level play. Sometimes it takes a while to adjudicate something like that because you have to get it right.
Yeah.
And there's no fast way to do that.
There really isn't, and you really have to be careful with what you're doing.
Yeah. A bump of a model and it completely invalidates it.
Yeah.
So...
I'm just going to put this by him to show that he's the
So
leader.
the chat has asked me to
can we pause and talk to a judge?
Yeah.
give a little circle
Harry?
on where the casters
Harry,
are.
right?
Skarre is right here.
But he's the leader model, isn't he?
We're a little unsure where Deneghra was because we weren't quite paying attention, but there are people who believe that that's her right there.
Not the UA.
Okay.
He's he's attempting to declare that this one
So
is
she's
the
getting
leader,
set up to
but
dominate to win.
How do you resolve that?
Sorry, I didn't realize because I know my models. So.
She's definitely out of Skarre's threat range, and then she's got a lot of protection over in that direction.
He is it.
So, you know, it actually does look like her, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
But the kit comes with
because what he's done, what Matt is doing, he's preparing for future turns. He's putting Deneghra in a place where she can get to the flag to dominate for 2.
Yep.
And he'll dominate to win the game. That's the plan.
I'll tell you what. Oh, it's my fault.
Yeah.
So that's they're not my models. So.
That's why I just wanted to check. I don't know how.
I'll just.
So he's just setting up. He's setting up for
For a couple of turns down the road, actually, because he's gonna score one here.
One of them.
It's gonna. He needs to get to 3 essentially to be able to close it out.
Yep.
It doesn't matter to me that much. I'm not trying to screw you on this.
No, sorry, yeah, I didn't even realise, to be honest.
He's normally it, and there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I was just... Well, if he dies, somebody's going to become the leader. If he's out of command, then they lose top.
Okay. So the solution, roll the die and replace the one with a...
So I just randomise 1 to 3, 4 to 6.
Oh, you have another one there.
Is that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So they're having a little bit of a judge issue.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to determine.
Just put in there. Perfect.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even notice.
He had to field promote a leader
Well,
model.
that's why I looked up here and I was like, he's got command.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, there's
And
2.
he hadn't done it.
Okay, I'm going to press play.
Symptom borrowing models.
think.
Yeah, that's fine. So
Okay.
just got
That's
this
what
guy to
happened.
activate then. So he's going to run.
Thank you.
So 3.
I've never run into that before.
No, not me. I normally only have one of my own ones. So.
Now, do you fit? With him over the lip?
But I'm not going over his base, so it's difficult to tell though. So it's not exactly crucial. So I'm not going to bother even arguing it.
So this is a time when I would probably call a judge and have them adjudicate.
Okay,
What they're asking about is there room for that Bane to get through there?
And then not much.
I guess they decided they didn't have room, so that's interesting.
This guy.
Here.
Yep.
You know what kills Banes really good?
This guy.
Other Banes.
Other Banes.
Especially when they're cursed.
Very dead.
And this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of dead Banes on both sides here. After the vengeance happens,
Yep.
the Thralls are all going to be chewed up too.
Yeah. So, you know, what we're seeing here is it looks very likely that Matt's going to score a control point. Ryan's going to score a control point on his turn. It's going to be very difficult for Matt to prevent that. So it's going to be 1-1.
So not 3?
And we'll see on that turn how well Ryan does sort of jamming it all up.
Yeah.
To try and stop him from scoring. Because if Matt... Let's see, this is kind of a tough one to win, though, because you need 5 to win. And the most you can score is 2.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to dominate twice.
It's pretty hard because if you're dominating twice, you're either in a lot of trouble or you've already basically won by killing most of your opponent's army anyway.
Yeah.
That objective or his flag isn't that far away from your opponent's side. It's just not a comfortable place to be with your own caster.
Which way is her front? Probably that way?
Someone's marked it. So the arc's like that. Or the
want that to be the front?
Yeah. Because someone's put the mark, so the arc's like that.
No, I know, but it's supposed to face.
Yeah.
So you want it that way. That's the front. It's the whip. Okay.
I'm going to charge Skarre. So I'll plot the
Your base? Side. Yep, sure, go ahead.
So 10.
So he's
going to charge that knight as well.
Yep, no problem.
One model into Skarre?
Yep. He's using the Raiders now to jam him up.
He's the one I want to kill.
Trying to make it easier to score next round.
Yep, absolutely.
3 whips on him, leading from the CMA. So all charge.
You think we'll see a blood rain?
Mat 9. So power.
That would
12.
be cool.
Yeah,
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
It's something you don't see very often, but there's a pretty juicy
it would
one.
Kill a whole bunch of Raiders would die right
Staring him right in his face. So
So the power 9's got to 12.
so that's blood raid is one of those. We call it like a 5% spell.
No.
It's usually not good on Skarre unless it wins the game.
Yeah.
Or like in this situation, it won't win the game, but it'll be really good.
So whip on that knight there.
Hits. Yep.
Power 9.
Your dice are very good.
This one's charge attack.
Sure.
The whip. Power 9.
Jesus.
And the one on Skarre. So with the whip. So hit, misses, isn't it? Need 10.
You need a 10.
The horns.
Why not?
Crit knockdown.
Yeah, no, I know. Why not?
Skarre just got knocked down.
Wow.
Power,
Crit knockdown. So
power 9 against
that's very unlikely because I think he needed a 10 to hit.
The whips are
Yeah.
And he rolled double 5s, so it's either double 5s or double 6s.
Yeah, those are the only two options on the
13,
dice.
Is that 3 and 36?
These two on him.
No.
Sure.
2 and 36.
Whips.
Yeah,
Power
I
11.
think so.
1 and 18.
Tens.
Yeah.
So no. And
I mean, it can happen.
Certainly can. It's just kind of rare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gorman's going to advance 6 to there. Blowing bomb on here.
Ooh,
Gorman.
that would be bad.
So Black Oil is going to be...
So
Oh,
she's
man.
20.
That's actually really good.
You still get whatchamacallit, range attacks, right? +2?
Well, that's only enemy attacks. Oh no, it does.
So it basically negates the back arc. So
Yeah,
she's on a so you're 14 base,
So she's 20.
18 engaged, on a hill is 20. So boxcars.
Ooh.
He must not have got the crit knockdown.
Orange's direction.
Because they're talking
Orange
like she's
direction.
got defense 20 on that hill with engagement.
It's in my bag. There it is.
And,
I thought I saw him roll double 5s.
2.5
2.5.
to the 5.
oh,
Oh,
maybe he's throwing at his own model.
Yeah.
I like this.
I don't know why he would do that instead of throwing just a Skarre. I guess he thinks
Out of
he's out of
range.
range.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So 2.5.
yeah. Those.
Oh.
Yeah,
So the
that's
dice-
not good.
The dice giveth,
Looks like just
Yeah.
these two.
and the dice taketh away.
Well done, lad. Well
So it
done.
looks like 2 Raiders got Black Oil. Yeah, sometimes things
funny.
happen. So actually, normally hitting, well, it is a Raider.
This is a large base.
Yeah, so hitting a Satyxis Raider in the back on a hill, engaged, pretty hard to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that's interesting about Gorman, because the way the AoE rules work, if you're within, 4 1/8 inch,
Something like that.
pretty
Yeah.
close to that, you cannot deviate off.
Yeah, he can't miss his target,
Yeah, so,
regardless of what's rolled.
yeah. And so he was able to get Gorman within that magical,
already power booster here?
distance. You can't deviate off your target. I mean, it doesn't do you any good
Okay.
when you're trying to hit a model next to
You
another
didn't have
model.
room to
But
touch. I don't think you
a
were.
lot of times defense does
Oh,
not
that was
matter.
last turn. That was last turn. I'm sorry.
It's just been knocked.
Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Look, he's
Okay,
also
so he still
positioning
contests.
Snapjaw
he wants to
and
discuss that?
Oh, yeah.
Nightmare.
Nightmare both to give him
So I
good
get one
game
more
for clearing
focus, so
that
I'm on
flag.
8.
and he's also not presenting both in
4
an
and
easy
4.
manner so that Ryan can get to them and
knockdown.
remove them. So he's going to make sure that their
Oh, I have to think
activations, when
about
they
that.
actually come in and do something, mean something. They're going to score a point. I think
Yep.
he's probably going to try and use 1 for each turn,
Yep.
would be my guess. So Matt's playing a really, really good game. And then Ryan's doing what he needs to do as well,
let's
which is,
vengeance
again,
first,
like
and
I
we'll figure out the
said,
rest later.
he's working to put pressure on the blue flag. Don't know if he's going to be able to score it on his turn. Well, the vengeance is going to make that possible.
Possibly.
Yeah.
He needs to kill,
1, 2, 3 models.
I would say more than that. He's got, there's 2
Sorry, that's
2
5
Bane
models.
Thralls below, a Bane Thrall officer up to the right, and then it looks like 1 Withershadow Combine above, possibly 2.
Yeah,
Is that what those are, is Withershadow Combine?
I believe so. So it's either 4 or 5 models. But he's got a vengeance attack, which is going to allow him to get pretty deep. So, as always, it's going to come down to tough rolls, and the hardest one is going to be the model that's obviously the farthest away, which is the 2 in the back. But I think
Here?
with vengeance, he's actually probably not going to have too
I've
much
made
trouble
myself
with that.
nice and easy for you to hit.
Right. So defense is 10, so I need a 4.
Over there.
Okay. Dice off 1.
Necrosurgeon. So here's another thing that I find interesting about these 2 lists. When's the last time you saw 2 Crix lists
Sorry.
without,
This guy.
I can't remember the name of the solo that I hate so much.
Garrulax Slaughterborn?
No.
Warwitch Siren.
Warwitch Sirens.
Yeah, there's no Warwitch Sirens.
Yeah.
Apparently no one around here likes ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's, I got that.
So it is important to note
I
that Matt
love
did
what
score a
Art's on it.
control
Okay.
point. He's up 1-0 on
Yep.
Ryan.
And in pretty strong position to score another. Well, Helldiver getting in there. Okay, those are some pretty high value targets,
Gorman's
right?
back art and on his back lip. Is that okay? Okay. So that's the blue one. I'm going to put this next to him so I remember. That one.
I find one of the most difficult things for me, at least, in playing against Skarre, is remembering, because I see so many Skarre players take Helldivers, is remembering the things on the table or going to be coming back to the table and where it's sitting at, because that objective marker, or that ground marker, is so small.
Yeah. The thing about Helldivers and why they're so good with Skarre is that it really acts, it kind of puts an artificial timer on the game, in that it's very difficult to not have a Helldiver get to your caster.
Yeah, he's going to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
You can't ever make attacks against him if he doesn't want you to.
Yep, and with Dark Guidance, you know, all
he
boosted.
Hits.
Yeah, he's going to hit you. And with Skarre's feet, now obviously Ryan had to defeat defensively, which we talked about earlier. But they're like power 18 or something silly with 3 dice to hit. So,
yeah.
I mean, they just kill you dead.
Okay, so hit him again. Tough. Here. Miss. Miss. Here. Hits. Tough. Yeah. 11. And promote.
So, that one Bane Knight that that got missed twice, right in the middle of all the, sorry, the Bane Thrall.
Yeah.
Matt's Bane Thrall. Actually, kind of a pain in the butt. Mechanithrall is going to have to probably get in there and dig it out. That's my guess.
Might be difficult with tough.
Yep. Let's look. Yeah, it's gonna be a little dicey to clear that flag, because he's not going to be able to put. I don't think he has enough focus to put Dark Guidance down on his army, because it's going to be very risky to do so with the position of Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean the Nightmare's about 8 to 9 inches away from Skarre right now.
Yeah, and he could just walk there because within prey range.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is. I think Matt is doing very well. I'm a homer though, so I'm pulling for Ryan. Actually, I'll be honest. I've been telling people this all weekend long, that if the U.S. wins, it's great, because I have fierce national pride.
Yeah.
If the U.S. loses, it's great, because I get to troll the crap out of my friends for an entire year.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation.
I call that a win-win. Some people may not necessarily agree, but...
well, it's a win-win for someone.
Absolutely. It's so exciting. You know, this is the semifinals. And so we're seeing really good Warmachine. That's the fun thing about Warmachine is there's so many variables, and it's you know, it's just really rewarding to play. But I also find that it's very rewarding to watch, because you're trying to get in the players' heads and see what they're thinking and how they execute. And sometimes you get surprised, and it's really interesting. And sometimes you don't.
Well, I'm going to go walk around for just a minute and find out what's going on at the other tables, and I can report back.
All right, sounds good, Trevor. We'll check in with you in a minute.
I'm going to forfeit to stand. Yep. Cast Dark Guidance. Attack you with the weapon that light.
Okay, looks like Dark Guidance came down.
I'm 77. Hits. It's a pound 9. Yes. Heals D3. 2.
Yeah, it looks like he just killed that raider to heal a point of damage. It's one of the properties of, I think it's of his weapon on Skarre.
You seen it's going to walk?
Now this is going to be interesting. We'll see how much damage the Helldiver does to Nightmare, but it looks to me like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff down there that's going to get in the way, but there's potential that Nightmare's going to get in on Skarre the next turn. So we'll see.
He's not engaged here. It's
definitely within walking range.
I'm going to walk into here.
Let's just see how Ryan executes here and what his plan is to protect Skarre. The other thing that's kind of important to notice in this game, as far from a scenario standpoint, Matt is really positioned to be able to do that score 2 with a dominate to win the game. But if you look at Ryan's position of his caster, he doesn't really have that option right now. And so that even puts him a little farther ahead on the score 2 to win for the scenario game. Right now Ryan's trying to put out those Satyxis Raiders that kind of jammed him back that we talked about earlier.
Okay, so I need 9s.
Dark Guidance does make it a lot easier though. Oh my gosh, Mechanithralls are gross. 2 attacks with 3 dice to hit.
That's
pretty good.
In here. So both of those. He's going to go here. Hit, so that's her. And then here he needs really.
So this turn is kind of illustrating like how the long game is going to go. What you're seeing is that with Dark Guidance, Ryan's stuff is much more effective, which I know is a pretty obvious thing to say. But that entire unit of Satyxis Raiders just got obliterated by just a few attacks.
It's not commander, is it?
I like so.
No.
Okay, so this little guy's going to go. He's just going to stand in here.
I'll just use that as the token for breaking.
I'm going to hit Gorman.
Yep.
Back card. You're a 14.
I looked away for a moment. It looks like the Satyxis Raiders might have broke.
Maybe +2, I don't remember.
Got rid of Gorman. That's a really good.
This unit's going to go.
Assassination.
Here. Just going to walk. He's going to walk up here. He's going to walk into here. 6. He'll walk 4 and 2.
He's activating the Mechanithralls now, and he's going to try to clear some charge lanes for the Banes onto Nightmare. We'll see how many he gets on there. Potential that he could do a lot of damage and even potentially scrap it if he gets enough there.
Yes. 9s. Yes.
Okay, update from the front. It looks like Anthony just assassinated Morvana 1 with Gorshade 3's feat. So USA up one game to none currently.
Yes.
That Gorshade 3's assassination is so good.
I need a 7.
May I make a suggestion?
Power 15. Straight dice. Tough check. Okay.
So it looks like 3 or 4 Bane Knights can get onto Nightmare.
This unit's going to go.
Maybe 5. This is going pretty good for Ryan.
So I might have been able to shoot him back. It's hard, right? I got to get,
Oops, sorry.
but
You were basing me.
I'm going to try it, right?
Are you charging? Sorry?
Nightmare.
No.
Now he's trying to figure out where his bases are going to land.
Nightmare also. So up 8. He's going to charge right here.
Yep, looks like it's going to be 3. Actually, I'm not sure that the Bane Knight towards the bottom actually made it.
Looks like it's okay.
Yep.
And also charging a bone chicken for good measure.
So I'm back, And interestingly enough, it looks like Brian White is up on his opponent. Anthony is beating his, and Will Pagano is about to beat Jamie P. And at our other table, the Stripes team is not doing well. They've lost 2 of their games already. We may have a rematch of Poland versus USA in the finals.
And I actually think both teams, if you ask them, really want that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
well,
so the
we
plot
might
thickens.
get that.
Yeah. So Trevor, while you're out, Ryan is doing a good job of getting things cleared out. I'm curious to see how much damage he gets on Nightmare here.
Does he just have 2 Bane Knights on him?
I think it's 2, but it might be 3. I can't tell if the reach hits.
You're an 18, right?
Yep.
Off 7.
6 to 1.
That's 6 to 1.
So 6 damage with that
3.
one.
To the 1.
Hits. Off 7.
So what?
3 to 5. Can't roll dice. 1 on the arc node. From here.
Def 15.
50, so I need a 9. Yep. Off 3. 8 to 3.
Excuse me. Anything interesting going on in the chat?
This unit's going to go run charge. He's going to charge Nightmare. Just go right into here. He can see her. He's going to charge her, but I'm going to go straight this way. And then he's going to charge that one. So there. Here in the back is I need 8s. So yes.
Which one was that one?
Back to the earth, and then up front there. Yes. And then on Nightmare again. Hits.
Oh man, Dark Guidance doing so much work.
It's such an amazing spell.
Roll dice. 1 of the 3.
Especially in critics.
I'm going to die because of that.
So that's the interesting thing about Skarre is she has a spell that is a feat every
I missed
turn.
with 1. I
Pretty
hit with
much.
3. Off 7 should be do 21. I did like 9.
The other thing that's kind of interesting about Skarre is she is a very straightforward powerhouse.
Dice minus, I was
right?
off 11 on this dice roll.
Sure. I mean, she does what she does, and it's
we're
very
gonna run
simple. It is
charge
apply
here, and then this purple
everything
goes
to your opponent in the best manner possible with extra armor or damage or both, plus hits amazingly well.
Charge Tartarus. Threats 10.
Yep.
And then she's just got these random spells that do really cool things every once in a while. Like you mentioned earlier, Blood Rain.
Yeah.
Rather than Malevis or whatever his name is.
But turns out Dark Guidance better use of the
Run.
of the focus that turn, like it is most
turns, yeah.
Blood Rain's probably a luxury. You know, like, oh hey, I rolled 6 focus, I'm in no danger.
There's nothing left that really threatens me at this position, and I got a clump of guys right there that need to die quickly.
Absolutely. That's why we call that. And for Skarre, Blood Rain maybe is not even a 5%er. It's more like a 1%er, for being honest. But
6. So 14. See if I can roll average for once. That's better. So that's a 15. So that'll kill Tartarus. Here you're a 14.
Yeah. So
I need an 8.
as we predicted, now that Ryan is able to get his teeth
16,
into the
so off
Deneghra
5
army,
to kill.
the attrition is starting to go pretty well to his side.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of models on the table. He's got a lot of saturation where he's going to get multiple charges a turn and then have models in position to do it again next turn.
Yeah, and then he's not going to miss. Like with Dark Guidance, you almost can't miss other Crix models.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's,
no, they don't have high defense. They, it's hard to miss on 3 dice against defense 12.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they'll run over here and over here. 3 attacks. No combos. I need a 7. Hits. 3 dice on the charge. That'll kill. This unit's going to go. They'll run. 7. 5. Six. Toe.
So now what Ryan is doing is he is trying to pack the play area between Skarre and Nightmare. He's also, so here's sort of the double-edged sword about, or the downside for using Dark Guidance. You have to be in the thick of things.
Yeah, you got to be close.
Yeah.
And you could be in a situation where Nightmare could trample, or he could figure out a way to get all those guys dead.
Yeah, so the main thing is the Helldiver that's there. That's going to be the hardest piece to remove, but he's got plenty there. He's got some Banes. So if he gets the Helldiver out of there, then he has, like I said, a potential for a trample, but, you know, a good Hellmouth. He might be able to just, you know, there's a, if you could circle this Bane right there.
Yeah, he took.
That night, yeah. That one is
that one right there?
Above it.
Yeah.
This one here?
Yep.
Yeah,
that Hellmouth, how much of Nightmare's path does that clear out?
Yeah.
You know, we'd have to guess, but I'm going to guess that stuff right there.
So a Hellmouth there, followed by, you know, all the stuff that's back here, including Snapjaw removing the Helldiver
like
and the other models,
on 7's boosted, sure,
should
I guess,
give
but
Nightmare a lane to Skarre.
If he can do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, and I don't know that it's possible, but it certainly is an option at this point. I mean, Skarre didn't move back very far, and Nightmare's still pretty close.
Yeah.
And
so I think if we evaluate the game state now, it's pretty obvious, and as we predicted, the attrition is going to go in Ryan's favor. So this might be that degree all-in moment.
Wait, you spent it. And they called you on that? You spent the... Okay. I said that. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give him 2.
Sure.
All right. Looks like he allocated 3 to the Nightmare, so it's definitely part of the plan.
Oh, or it's part of, he's going to just kill the Helldivers and sit in them, you think?
I don't think that's a good long-term plan.
It's not a good long-term plan, but...
Here comes Deneghra for the Hellmouth.
I've done 6 so far.
So one more?
Let's see if I predicted the target right. I did not. He's going to go the other way. Which is fine, too, because he can walk.
So boosted Hellman.
Okay.
Okay, Will Pagani has won his game, so that's a game score 2-0 for America.
7.
Yep.
So
what order would you like
Stars.
to do? Star.
Yep. So this is
he pulled Skarre over a little bit, so that's going to help him some.
Spike damage roll if you get lucky, you know.
Well,
damage is damage on an assassin.
It makes it so that he can, when he walks around, he can get there a little easier.
Yep.
Coach him, and then there's this little guy.
But he's going to, so
he'll get hit by the AoE.
So Mechanithralls dead.
Yeah. Let me,
he just can't take all those free strikes from those Banes that are engaged.
Yeah, he's got to figure out a way to do something with them.
And the Helldiver. So, but there's a lot of stuff over there that could help him clear it out. So, including Snapjaw.
Yeah, Snapjaw has some range to get to all that stuff.
Yep.
Very
just needs to pick a
very
side.
good.
And on Skarre off 7.
Pound 12. I'm at 19. Yes. Why not?
2. Ghost on Nightmare.
Yep, sure.
He's definitely in a position where he's got to do something.
Yep.
He's pretty much lost the lower half of the screen flank.
Mm-hmm.
And the fight is all happening on the flag. that he's trying to score on, where Ryan has the other flag pretty much under wraps.
I find it very gratifying the game has flowed very much like we thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3. And then another 5.
Did he spend one for Ghostly?
What's that?
Did he spend one for
enough
Ghostly?
for the face even, it looks like.
Must have.
Yep.
So that's the other option. Ta-da!
So.
Oh wait, she has Ghost Walk, right?
So first claw.
She does.
So the Skarlock probably just cast it.
So off 1.
I don't know. I mean, he had 3 Fury or 3 Focus, didn't he?
Oh, that's true. Here comes
Second
the
claw.
damage.
Off 1.
Yeah, this is going to be game.
Sorry
Yeah.
about some of those dice. They were just silly,
Well done.
but-
So a well-executed game by Matt.
My dice
Absolutely.
were utter garbage.
Hey, thanks guys for bearing with us while we kind of work through this game. It's been a good time.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So now the game score, I think, is 2-1. Any parting words of wisdom, Trevor?
No, I don't think so. I think that there's a pretty good chance that what we're going to see is a rematch from last year, which is super exciting.
That's awesome. So, you know how I said earlier that I felt like I went either way? I actually really want the U.S. to win. Now, because it's Poland. I don't want anybody to repeat.
Sure, it's not fun to see the same winners over and over again. We want to see new people.
Yeah, plus we don't need to establish an evil empire just yet.
Plus, we're Americans.
That's right.
Yeah,
American.
that may or may not be part of the influence here.
Yeah, well, we're unbiased reporters.
Sure. All right, well, we'll be back in a little bit. Thanks for watching.